Alright, another Classix Revisited. This time it's going to be FPS 22 down at the Siege. I don't feel like editing this footage. It's just one long file, so we're just going to do the entire gameplay. And we're going to start with the opening move where the old, fat, and slow guy makes it to the 35. Give him my own darn cover fire. I even mentioned there to the camera that I was amazed that I got this far. I mean, that just does not happen. You know. So anyway, we're playing walk-on play. One thing about walk-on play is that there's not a screaming rate of firepower, which is I like that. The downside is that nobody moves. So you get people who just get behind their first position and they're happy there. They want a homestead. They put out the white picket fence, the welcome mat, everything. And it really bugs me. And even though I'm yelling where I see people with the hopes that occasionally somebody will move, and it happens occasionally, but for the most part, it's just people shooting, including myself. This is me reloading. That's why you get this beautiful shot of my glove. I should mention this. The camera, ATC, good camera, but the microphone is buried inside of the camera housing itself, so you really don't get a lot of good audio. And I got it mounted on my A5 using a Lapco offset sight mount, which is why the camera angle's like this instead of being over the top of the barrel. I prefer this shot actually, but it also makes it easier for me to actually shoot. Alright, so again, doing the call. I've actually got a guy on my left who's also doing it. Now I got a guy, think that there's one guy on the right who's mirroring my moves. So we're all pretty much at the same layer. Alright, that guy, I could not shoot him because by the time the ball would have reached him, wouldn't have hit him anyway. And the guy on the left is telling me about him, that he's there. And I think the guy on the left got him. Or maybe it was, I don't know who it was, but somebody else got him. So I'm seeing that we're softening him up, which is why I make this move here, and I immediately come up shooting. I see this mistake happen a lot with players, is that they make their move, really good move, and then they get comfortable first before they come up shooting. When you make a move like this, you really have to pound. You got to put them on the defensive. You got to make them start reacting, because if you can make them consistently react to your moves, they're always a step behind you. So you got to make it so that they're on the defense, and you do that by coming up shooting, make them take cover. All right, so that guy was sort of a thorn the entire game, but you'll see what he's doing. He's just coming out the same side, the same way over and over again. That comes into play a little bit later on. Oh, gun cleaning, yeah. I'd made a decision when I got there that day. I could either buy 1,000 rounds of cheap paint, or I could buy 500 rounds of really good paint. So I went with quantity instead of quality. And so I was breaking paint all day. And so any shot you see after this, it's a miracle that it goes relatively straight, because I'm using a wide bore barrel with a narrow bore paint. And it was still going the right way, but just kind of annoying. So now I've decided I'm going to focus on this corner, because I know nobody else is moving on my left, so I'm going to try to see if I can get these guys out on the right. And I'm trying to make them make the mistake. And they are, because they're exposing a lot. Again, walk-on play. So we get both these guys in the corner. Yeah, and I only yell for somebody to check themselves when I actually see the ball hit them and break. It's a throwback rule, but I'll talk about that another time. Okay, remember that guy in the center I was talking to you guys about? Well, first of all, the right side is now completely open, so now I can make this shift to the right, and I can change the angle up on this guy, and he's always coming out the same hole in the center there, so I just lane a little bit that way, and he runs into my paint. Couldn't be easier. And yeah, I yelled at him to keep his goggles on. Alright, so we're on the last guy. Last guy, you can see he's giving me everything. I mean, if he stepped out of that bunker anymore, he would have been even behind it. So I'm yelling, somebody move up on the left, because I can't hit him. The gun barrel's dirty. I can't get him. And nobody's moving, much to my annoyance. So that's why I make this move. And actually, you'll notice the first 2 shots I take at him, I miss. And eventually I just come around and yell surrender, and he does. That was the game. So there you go. A little bit of a revisit of FPS 22. Catch you guys next time.